So good afternoon, everyone. I hope you're all doing well and you've had a great start to the week so far. It's lovely to see so many of our existing customers join us today, as well as lots of newcomers to EvaluAgent. We're looking forward to giving you a first look at our brand new release, EvaluAgent Conversation Analytics. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Dinsmore and I'm one of the founders of EvaluAgent. I'm delighted to be joined today by Sarah Price, our head of marketing, and one of my co-founders, Jamie Scott. Jamie will be sharing a number of slides and videos with us today, along with some insights from his vast experience of analytics, you'll be pleased to know. Once Jamie's taken us through the demonstration, we'll be asking you to take part in a very quick poll, and we'll then close with a short Q&A. It's also worth noting that throughout the demo, you'll be able to use the questions panel for any questions that occur as Jamie guides us through the overview. So quick intro from me there. Without further ado, I'm going to hand you over to Jamie, who's looking forward to introducing you all to EvaluAgent Conversation Analytics.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot, Michelle. It's good to know I've got lots and lots of experience in analytics. So welcome everyone. I'm Jamie Scott. I'm the Chief Products Officer today here at EvaluAgent, and I'm super excited to be here to demonstrate conversation analytics. It's going to be a combination of slides, some product videos. As Michelle said, just please add any questions as we go along. There should be enough time at the end of the session for us to answer questions. But just before we delve into the detail, I'd just like to take a few moments to describe EvaluAgent Smart Quality, which is, we believe, a next generation contact center QA and improvement platform. And it enables you to do a lot of things. First of all, import all of your customer conversations, all of your post-contact surveys. It identifies your highest risk conversations, and then it randomly samples and generates work queues of deep dive evaluations, feedback, coaching, training interventions, all about laser focusing and optimizing your improvement efforts to deliver those tangible business outcomes. And because it's designed by contact center operators and experts like you, it puts the agent, team leaders, coaches right at the center of those workflows. And conversation analytics has been designed to fit literally seamlessly into that wider smart quality platform, which, based on feedback from clients and prospects, is increasingly being recognized as a really fresh, really easy to use approach to QA improvement that takes the best bits of traditional QA and performance management, and by carefully layering in automated speech and text analytics, takes your whole approach to improving the customer experience and the employee experience to the next level. Because whilst you need to increase QA coverage to better manage risk across every one of those customer conversations, you still need actionable insight plus those engaging performance management workflows to really close the loop with agents and to deliver those business benefits. So in a nutshell, smart quality, it's all about more coverage, more engagement, less risk, less cost. And I could talk all day, frankly, about that platform. I'm going to focus today's demo specifically on the conversation analytics piece and how it fits into that smart quality platform. And there are two use cases for conversation analytics. The first one is the automatic generation of insight and the ability to surface critical moments on every call, every ticket, email, and chat to help you better understand your customers' needs and expectations. And the second one is auto QA, the ability to mitigate business and customer risk by ensuring that every agent on every conversation is following the correct procedures and behaviors, so you can then focus and prioritize feedback, coaching, training, where it's going to have the biggest impact on performance. And I'm going to cover how our solution covers both of those use cases in today's demo. I'm just going to talk about the automated insight first. And let's just start at the beginning of the journey. And I'm going to play our first product video here. Hopefully the technology is going to support me. And this describes how you can easily import your conversations into EvaluAgent. So just bear with me whilst I pull up that video. Here we go. With the appropriate admin rights and literally a couple of clicks, call recordings, tickets, emails and chat sessions are fetched into EvaluAgent. Simply go to our integrations page, select the platform that you wish to integrate with EvaluAgent, and then go through the authentication process. They're all a little bit different, but if you've got the relevant admin rights and or the relevant API keys, it's literally a 5 minutes job. Authenticate and then go to configure. And to benefit from analytics, you'll need to fetch all of the information that comes across with the tickets, the ticket references, the metadata, the full text of the conversation. If it's an integration with a call recording platform, you'll need to bring through the full call recording. And if you are fetching tickets, you'll need to decide how tickets are going to be evaluated. You need to decide on your data storage and deletion policies. And once you've made those selections, simply click Save and tickets, calls will start to be fetched automatically in near real time into EvaluAgent. Once you've started to import those conversations into EvaluAgent, even before you benefit from the full conversation analytics suite, there are 3 really cool features that come with a full fetch integration, and they're instantly available to use as soon as that's done. And that's all really about saving time and mitigating risk. The first one is what we call EvaluAgent Quick Search, and that enables you to search for words and phrases. And as you'll see in a moment, conversation analytics just takes things to a whole different level beyond this. But Quick Search is specifically designed to help you get started on the journey. Secondly, redaction enables you to hide sensitive data terms like names, addresses, email addresses, etc., giving you an extra layer of data protection on your imported conversations, safe in the knowledge that any terms you choose to redact are never visible and they're never stored within EvaluAgent. Last but not least, side-by-side evaluation gives you access to the conversation and the evaluation process all in one platform. So no more flicking between screens on different systems to complete QA. And the good news is, like I said, all 3 of those features are now available to all customers on all plans. But coming back to the full conversation analytics suite, the even better news is that unlike other solutions on the market, our version of conversation analytics has been designed to work on every type of customer contact channel, whether that's calls, tickets, email, chat session. And let's just talk about calls first. Once call recordings have been fetched into EvaluAgent, the audio is automatically transcribed into text using our automated speech recognition engine, which delivers 78% speech to text accuracy out of the box. And that level of accuracy can then be further improved during the onboarding process and also via ongoing support and fine-tuning of the software to fully recognize words and phrases that are specific to your industry, your brand, your product, and your service offerings. So let's play another product video now that demonstrates how transcribed calls look within the platform. Just pull up that video. Call recordings and transcripts are displayed in EvaluAgent in a way that allows the user to see everything on one screen. We have the summary panel that shows details of the call, such as the agent who handled the call and the date and time of the call.
We can also reveal any metadata that we've decided to view within EvaluAgent, and we can hide the summary panel if we wish to give ourselves even more space on the screen if we need it. We can play the call, we can pause the call, we can move it to any part of the call we wish and to play a specific segment, or just to keep it simple, we can play the call from the beginning.
Hi, Emma. It's John from Your Health.
Hi, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for asking. And yourself?
Yeah, I'm well, thank you.
Good. Have you had a chance to look at the quotation I sent through?
Yes, I have.
Great. I just need to go through data protection for security. Emma, could you confirm the first line of your address and post?
I'm going to delve into this panel on the right in a moment, but I'll just need to explain the context first. But just before we step back to the dashboard for me to do that, I'd just like to highlight how the redaction feature works on calls. We've chosen here to redact person name. And as you can see, using that first call segment as an example, the software has ignored Emma because it's not a full name, but it has redacted the agent's full name. And it's worth noting that it's not just the text that's being redacted, it's also the audio. So let's just play that segment again just to highlight that point.
Hi, Emma. It's John from Your Health.
Hi, how are you?
So I'm going to use tickets now to demonstrate the wider features and benefits of conversation analytics for the rest of the demo today. But everything I'm showing from now on applies to any type of conversation on any channel. So let's move on and let's have a look again at the system in action. I'm going to play another short product video. Just pulling it up now, and
as they're fetched into EvaluAgent from Zendesk in this example, typically in real time, a list of tickets starts to appear and all of the associated metadata comes with those tickets. And here you can choose which specific metadata fields you wish to view inside EvaluAgent. If you've also integrated with your customer survey platform, you'll see that data here as well. And of course, you can filter tickets based on date ranges and periods. You can filter tickets based on custom reporting groups that you may have set up. So any agents that are in the new starters group, for example, or agents in any part of the organization. In this instance, anyone within the customer services department. Clicking across to the Zendesk Insights tab, I can quickly access the distribution of all the tickets according to metadata. And if I choose, and I can apply quick build. So for example, if I just want to view those 280 high priority tickets, all I need to do is click on that particular bar and I'm now viewing in conversations the 280 tickets that are associated with that particular metadata field. And this is where conversation analytics kicks in and things really start to get even more exciting, because by clicking across to the EvaluAgent's Insights tab, we can now see how all imported tickets have been analysed against what we refer to as insight topics. And these are topics which are designed to help you get a better sense of what's going on within the hundreds and thousands of conversations that your agents are handling every day. And to help clients get started, we offer a wide range of out-of-the-box topics to automatically tag conversations with a wide range of sales and service topics, things like progress chasing, complaints, empathy, dissatisfaction, customer agreement. And furthermore, you can build any number of your own insight topics to help you automatically find the conversations that are most important to your business.
And let's stick with those out-of-the-box insight topics for a moment. Just return to that first use case, which, as you'll recall, is all about using conversation analytics to automatically reveal insight. And along those lines, a typical question we hear a lot is, what are the main issues driving service cancellations? So let's use that question now as an example. I'm going to dive back into the platform with another product video.
To begin the process of identifying which issues are driving cancellations, I can build an insight topic, give it a name, description, a theme, and I can add any number of words and phrases to search for. I will say at this point that no matter which analytics platform you ultimately select, the effectiveness of the process will still rely on experienced analyst skills inside your business to help ensure that you're building logical topics based on the right search terms to get logical results. And of course, the machine learning element will enhance, it will augment that process by continually and proactively searching all conversations to suggest other words and phrases similar to the ones that you've configured the platform to search for, but it still needs to be primed in the first instance. And, it's all subject somewhat to the machine laws of garbage in, garbage out. That said, we do believe we've designed our solution to be as intuitive as possible, and we've built the interface with users in mind, working really closely with a handful of clients. And once I've started to build up and modify and edit the words and the phrases, who's spoken them, how many I need to find in order to tag a conversation with this topic, I simply save the changes, and from then on, with that topic built and applied, I can begin to find and reveal conversations that, in this case, are linked to customer cancellations. And I can start by simply filtering conversations based on the customer cancellations insight topic. And this is literally where I can reveal the relevant conversations and start my research. And it typically helps me to start revealing potential root causes. And this is typically where the penny drops. The analytics engine doesn't solve the problems or even tell me exactly what the problem is. However, it does make the business improvement process so much more efficient because I'm no longer looking for a needle in a haystack. Once I've started to get a sense of the potential underlying root causes of an issue or any type of outcome, whether that's good or bad, I can start to search deeper to highlight the scale and the scope of the issue by building more detailed, more specific insight topics to help me dig deeper. And whilst I'm on this screen, let me just highlight our entity tagging and redaction feature. As I mentioned earlier, I can configure the platform to identify, hide, and remove any type of sensitive or personal customer data. So I may choose to simply identify an entity, like phone number. And all instances of conversations will be found and highlighted. Alternatively, I may choose to redact all instances of another data entity, like person name. And all instances on all conversations will be found, but then they will also be redacted, so no one can access the underlying personal data.
So I hope those videos are starting to help and just expose some of the new features. I'm going to move now on to the second use case, auto QA, and specifically the ability to mitigate business and customer risk by ensuring that every agent on every conversation is following correct procedures and behaviors. And then, as you'll see in a moment, prioritizing feedback, coaching, training, where it's going to have the biggest impact on performance. And the question, one of the questions we hear a lot is, how do I focus my QA team on my highest risk agents and conversations? And to answer that question, we need to first identify what those high risk conversations are. So let me play the next video.
To identify my high-risk conversations, I can now access all of the data that's now attached to those conversations. So firstly, I can identify my highest risk conversations based on metadata. I may wish to focus my attention on my highest risk call queues or work groups. So let's pick tickets that have come via the cancellations route. Secondly, I'll add in high-risk conversations based on survey results. I may wish to focus attention on surveys with very low customer satisfaction results. Thirdly, I'll go to the next level and add in high-risk conversations based on insight topics. Let's stick with customer cancellations. Lastly, I can go even further now and add in, again, high-risk conversations that have failed my auto QA process. And just before I demonstrate the auto QA results and how to apply manual deep dive evaluations and feedback onto those high risk conversations, remember that once you've created and saved these filters, they can be used in EvaluAgent's auto work queue feature so that they can be randomly sampled to automatically generate regular work queues of manual QA to support a totally risk-based approach to manual QA. And this is typically where another penny drops. Auto QA, AI-fueled insight, doesn't replace your QA team. It enhances and dramatically increases the team's output to give you 100% coverage on all elements of the customer experience to dramatically reduce risk, and it helps you then to laser focus the efforts of the QA team to concentrate those human interventions such as manual QA, feedback, coaching, one-to-ones, action planning, training, where it will have the biggest impact on your business performance and as a consequence help save you time and money. Based on the automated application of pre-built auto QA topics and scorecards that you configure and the system then matches to each conversation's metadata and insight topics, 100% of your conversations can be auto QA'd against specific elements of the customer experience. And if you'd like to manually evaluate other parts of the conversation and add really rich, deep dive, actionable insights, you can do that as well to give you that full 360-degree view of the conversation.
And With respect to auto QA, another question that we get asked a lot is, how do I use auto QA results to really drive change with my agent? And for us, it's all about engaging reporting and EvaluAgent's fully integrated improvement workflows that connect results to actions. Because frankly, without that connection, you're just going to be generating lots and lots of data that no one's going to act on. So let's have a look at reporting first of all. And using manual QA, you can generate results and clients are able to use our reports to view performance at all levels, perhaps at the very top level, down to departments, down to teams, and down to individual agent level. And at any level, we can see those manual results, but typically very low volumes. What we can now do is click across to the auto QA and see a dramatic difference in volume. And now, in addition to those manual results, we start to see the application of the auto QA topics and scorecards that are searching for combinations of words and phrases, which, if found at the right time, in the right sequence, will score the conversation as a pass. So for example, has the customer been identified and verified correctly? Yes, it's a pass. No, it's a fail. And by creating those auto QA topics, as I demonstrated earlier, you can start to build and configure those auto QA scorecards, and they will literally auto score significant parts of the customer experience. And that means that certain aspects of the conversation can now be scored with 100% coverage rather than the typical 2-3% that you typically get from manual QA. And with significantly more coverage, you can focus on the agents that are potentially exposing the business to the most risk. So Harim Travers here, for example, really low scores. Let's dig in and see what's going on there. We can start to see the breakdown of performance. We can scroll down. And from here, just like manual QA, the process for triggering feedback, a one-to-one coaching session or a lesson and a quiz, either manually or automatically, is exactly the same. You pick a specific evaluation that might be underperforming or a specific line item, and that's going to be the basis of the coaching or the training. And let's just focus on the auto QA topic here, provider quote, and let's trigger a one-to-one session. The agent, aptly named Tess McTest, is going to be coached by me, lucky devil, and I can select a coaching topic, I can select an optional description, I can add any prep notes for the session, I can keep coming back to the session and add prep notes before the one-to-one, and these will never be visible to the agent. I can select a location, whether that's a physical meeting room, or if I'm working remotely, it could be a Teams or a Zoom link. If I don't want to meet straight away, I'll be prompted to add a date and a time, and I can download a calendar invite to add to my email calendar if required. I'm going to start the session now just to really give you a sense of how it all works. And so the one-to-one meeting is organized. I can see the summary of the session, I can see the focus of the session, which was the performance that I identified. From a conversation perspective, I can select one of the pre-built coaching forms that comes with the platform, or I can configure my own to document the conversation. When it comes to actions, I can review previous actions, I can add new ones, and those actions can include the assignment of an e-learning quiz or a course, for example. And then right at the end, I can add final comments, and once the session's been submitted, the agent, Mr. McTest, is going to be prompted to acknowledge the session's agreements, the actions, and that will then be available in EvaluAgent's reporting suite. It's a rigorous process, and it's much more than just providing feedback, which a lot of vendors these days are presenting as coaching. And as an experienced contact centre operators and experts, we all know that in order to drive that sustained change and to build that culture of continuous improvement, you do need that level of operational maturity, I guess is really the phrase, and a platform that supports you. And that brings us nicely to what we refer to as the QA maturity model and how we guide clients on a journey towards smart quality. Because whilst you'll undoubtedly have ambitions to move to conversation analytics and auto QA, not everyone's ready, either culturally or financially. And we hear this from a lot of prospects. They want to get the basics right first, but they also want to have the flexibility to invest in a platform from day one that's going to grow with them. And that's where EvaluAgent is completely different, because it is the only QA and improvement platform to guide you on that full QA journey, ensuring that your investment is future-proofed. Everyone's at different stages of the journey. However, wherever you are now, your journey will typically have started with the good old spreadsheet. The second step, the second stage, is typically a move towards a dedicated QA software platform, enabling you to ditch those spreadsheets and engage and empower your teams with the manual QA to start with, bedding in the culture of continuous improvement, increasing QA efficiency with automated workflows and integrations. The third step, or the third stage, is all about leveraging analytics and auto QA to further reduce risk, to further improve efficiencies. But a note of caution here, we're currently working with a number of clients who've jumped into analytics without perhaps fully recognizing or appreciating the power of unintended consequences. Again, get the implementation wrong, and the efficiencies that come with the technology will drive you in the wrong direction very, very quickly. And that's why we work closely with clients from day one, defining the journey together and then supporting them with our playbooks, our onboarding guides, and our structured customer success program. And then finally, fourthly, that final step is about engaging all users to act on the data, reporting manual QA, auto QA, other data like imported surveys and productivity data in a style and a format that empowers and encourages leaders and agents to act. And it's about connecting all of those results, all of that data with the feedback, with the coaching, the training and performance management workflows all in one platform, so that you can really close the loop with agents and drive those really significant, tangible business benefits. So just before we move on to Q&A, first of all, thanks for listening. Hopefully that's given everyone a really good insight into conversation analytics and how it all fits in together. But with the model in mind, perhaps that we've got on the screen now, Sarah's just going to do a poll with the audience to ask, I guess, which step, which stage of the journey you feel you're at. So over to you, Sarah.
Okay, so everybody can see the poll on the screen. We'll give it a couple of minutes for everybody to make their votes. We can see some of you have voted so far, but we'll give you a couple of minutes just to choose which step you're on.
Jamie, could you just give us a quick reminder of what those steps are?
Yes, so step one is around spreadsheets and using in-house databases. Step two is the first step towards a dedicated quality assurance platform. Step three is the first stage of starting to layer in analytics and auto scoring. And then step four is really embedding that analytics capability with all of the workflows to auto score and really integrate that with what we'd refer to as really people focused embedded improvement workflows.
Wonderful, thank you.
So we'll give it a couple of more seconds. We can see 63% of you have voted so far. So we'll just give those stragglers at the end just a couple of more seconds just to do their voting, and then we'll close. So are we nearly there?
Come on, don't be shy.
Come on, we can't see who you are. You say. Okay, well, let's stop it now. Okay, so 69% of you voted. So we've got 29% at step 1, 51% at step 2, 29% at step 3, and nobody is at step 4. So we've got a clear winner of 51% of everybody who voted is at step 2.
Brilliant. No, thanks for that, everybody. I think the good news is it's a very typical situation that we find ourselves in when we're working with clients and prospects. A lot of people are recognizing the power of AI and using auto QA and conversation analytics to drive the agenda. And we're hearing a lot at the moment about how contact centers are being increasingly viewed, increasingly being repositioned from typical cost center view from the board to more of an engine for insight, and that's really the direction that we're seeing in the market. It is a journey, but again, a lot of people at very similar stages in the journey. So thank you very much for that. Really appreciate that that insight and that data. So I guess really all that's left is perhaps to open up to questions. I'll come back on video if that's okay, if I can press the right button. And I think we're all, if we can all come back on video, Sarah and Michelle, and we'll happily answer any questions that anybody has had or wishes to share. And if we don't get through all of them today, we will be able to definitely pick them up and liaise directly with people who've asked questions.
Absolutely. So the first question we've got is from VJ, and VJ asks, can the coaching one-to-one meeting session be added to the WFM schedule as well as by this product?
Oh, brilliant. Yes. So we're currently working with Puzzle, who offer a WFM platform. We're also in conversations with other WFM providers. And what that's going to allow us to do is to integrate those two platforms together so that as offline time is being scheduled in the WFM platform, the event, the coaching, the meeting will be completed in our product, but those two platforms work together. So we're doing a lot of work with Puzzle at the moment to integrate there, and through that work we will be increasingly connecting our solution with other workforce management solutions. We do really recognize the power of integrations. We now integrate with lots and lots of CRMs and ticket management systems. We now integrate, we have a very strong relationship, which we've announced very recently, with Redbox Recorders to bring their call recordings into our platform as well. So being at the center of that people management, people workflow ecosystem is very much part of our product vision. And to use the word that I've used a couple of times already, we're on that journey and we're working very closely with a lot of partners and clients to make that process as efficient and as effective as possible.
Okay, so next question, we've got quite a few coming in now, so I'm going to try and be quick. So with redacted information, is it stored by EvaluAgent customer data? Can it be stored outside the country where I'm based, although it can be processed outside the country?
So just sorry, I
so with redacted information, is it stored by EvaluAgent? Customer data, yes. Can it be stored outside the country where I'm based, although it can be processed outside the country?
Yes, so we work with clients in about 12 different countries now, and we typically host our solution in country. All data is typically processed and stored in country.
Okay, Lee asks, does it translate from one language to another?
So the automated speech recognition engines that we're working with have a wide range of different language capabilities, and they can convert that language, spoken language, to text. And as we continue to work with clients, again, most of our clients at the moment are UK speaking clients in various countries, and that's probably where we're going to be focusing our efforts, certainly in the short term. But as more and more interest grows, we will be able to work with our partners when it comes to automated speech recognition to affect multilingual, multi-language speech to text as well.
Okay. Peter asks, do call recordings need to be in stereo? Good
question. Again, typically that's who we're working with. We find that stereo and the ability to separate speaker, agent and customer is a very, very strong influence on the quality of any analytics outputs. And for that reason, we're currently focusing on stereo calls.
Oh, Peter goes back to your earlier answer and says 78% seems a bit low. When you have tested, how high have you managed to get the speed recognition accuracy?
So it really gives me the opportunity to talk about this. We're not selling speech to text on its own. What we are selling is speech to text combined with text analytics. And when you bring those two things together, it's about the accuracy of the text analytics. So for example, if the speech to text accuracy isn't as good as you might want it to be, the text mining engines and the queries can be built to accommodate that. And when you put those two things together, it's the accuracy of the actual analytics itself which is important. Now, that said, out of the box at 78% is a good starting point. Human intervention, listening to calls, it might surprise people to know, isn't actually dramatically higher than that as well. But when you can start to train the engine with specific words and phrases that are specific to a given client in a given industry based on a given typical set of calls, you can typically boost that into the mid-late 80% accuracy.
So next question, VJ has got another question. How easy is it to report the call recording and related metadata from this system with relation to single bulk records?
I'm really sorry. Could you just ask that question again, Sam? I'm not entirely sure I understand it.
How easy is it to export the call recording and related metadata from this system with relation to single bulk records?
We may need to speak to VJ specifically on that one. We import the call recordings and the metadata and process the data and then generate results. And those results are presented in our platform and through our API could be exported back out of our platform. So it will broadly follow the same route as any data we create in our system. Once we process the data, it will typically be available via our API for export. And like all APIs, that will be, someone will be able to build relevant technology to pull those calls back out with added data that we've generated and processed.
Okay, so another question, they say, sorry if I missed this, but if a call is picked up by the auto QA as a fail, and we decide that all fails need to be manually marked and identified as a compliant insight topic, can it end up specifically in the complaint team's auto work queue to prevent multiple teams manually making the same call?
Yes, absolutely. So the ability to now filter calls on metadata, which you can do at the moment, on survey data that may be attached, which you can do at the moment, And once you apply the analytics, you can then create filters based on insight topics that have been tagged to the calls. But if a call, and every call has been auto QA'd, you can filter calls based on failure as well. Creating a filter based on auto QA fails then can lead, like any other filter, into our auto work queue feature to randomly select from those calls only and create the work queues for a dedicated team of QA specialists to manually evaluate those calls or contacts, whatever they may be.
That's a great
Kayla
question.
says, yeah, Kayla says perfect, thank you. So
Brilliant.
that's where we go. Right.
Okay.
Peter asks, how does the cost model work?
Oh, I'm going to hand over to Michelle to answer that one.
Peter, I'd love to talk more about this. I think Sarah and the team are going to share the recording of the webinar with everybody who's attended today. And there'll also be an opportunity to book a one-to-one whereby we can understand your requirements better and share some of the pricing with you as well to give you a better idea.
They don't like me answering those questions, Peter.
I look forward to chatting with you, Peter.
And that's it for questions. So unless anybody wants to have anything else come in, I think we've covered everything today.
Lovely.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully everyone enjoyed that. I certainly enjoyed doing it. It's always great to talk about the product and answer questions, some great questions, and hopefully the answers were there. Anybody has other questions, please feel free to drop us a note, but I'll perhaps hand over to you, Michelle, to close us out.
Thanks, Jay. We really appreciate you taking us through that. Hope that was helpful, everyone. Hope that it gives you a little bit more insight into where we're heading and how this this further boosts what we already offer as part of our EvaluAgent suite. As I said before, Sarah and the team will share the recording. Anyone wants to book a meeting, again, just a quick catch up. No, there's no commitment here. If you just want to ask some more questions or find out a little bit more, we're more than happy to make that happen for you. So we look forward to chatting with you more soon.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Sarah, for organising it. Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. We really appreciate it.
Brilliant. All the best, everyone. Have a good day.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.